Mario, do you really have to pee? Please go.
No. Jessie was taking a while.
Have
Yeah.
you built your bathroom yet? I know you're building your home, so have you not built the bathroom? So
No, we have the bathroom upstairs, and I actually have a bathroom down here, so I can pee downstairs. You know, if it gets slow, I'll just run.
That has been so cool watching. That is so amazing.
Yeah.
You started from a mound of dirt. That is really, truly impressive. I don't.
Thank you.
Yeah, must really feel. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously tons of
Painful.
work, but like from my end, it's like they make great videos and it looks really simple.
yeah.
Yeah. Especially when they're sped up.
Between videos,
Yeah.
things really seem to progress.
That's because the videos are months apart. Yeah.
Mario, has the quarantine helped at all in your building or?
I've been very fortunate. It's made no difference to me
Yeah.
because I come out here and I work, and that was it. And I would go back to the apartment. So now we're actually living in the house. So now I never get to leave work.
Yeah.
Well, no one does.
Yeah, it's constant. It's nonstop. But I find now that I'm actually living here, I'm working less because I now have the computer and internet here at the house, and I'm like, oh, I got to look this up, or I need to order something, and then, well, let me just check and see what's going on Facebook, and before I know it, I've wasted like an hour and a half, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to go put in that shower. So.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, how long has it been since like breaking ground to now living there? I mean, obviously you have more to do, but you're living there now. So what's...
Yeah, we broke ground in November, like November 4th, 2017. So it's like just over 2.5 years.
Wow.
So
what a project. What an amazing thing. You built your home.
yeah. Thank you. My wife is not happy with the amount of time it's taken, but when she stops and looks around, she is kind of befuddled, and she's like, I can't believe it. So especially when she turns on a light switch,
And it goes off.
how much work went into the lights and how much wiring there was and everything else. So yeah,
And the garage door opens.
it does. Yeah.
Flip the switch in the bathroom and the garage door opens.
Mario's still building the cars to put in the garage, so it's What was the thought behind it? What was I just want to build my own home?
Well, I built my home in Jersey.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, we started with it was a hunting shack that was built back in the 1900.
Okay.
And in the mid 70s, they added a kitchen and a bathroom to it. Like 2 or 3 years after we were there, we added a 3-bedroom house
Wow.
onto it. And then eventually we tore that down and replaced the kitchen, the bathroom, and added a den and an attached garage. So we bought the land here in 2007 because we had kept visiting Colorado. My wife's family used to vacation here, and I had never traveled as a kid, and I was like, oh my God, Colorado is gorgeous. And so after the first time, it was like, oh, we should retire here. And it was like, oh yeah, wouldn't that be wonderful? And then after the second trip, I'm like, we should buy some land now because it's only going to get more expensive. And then we can build a house. And she was like, oh boy, wouldn't that be nice? But that's silly. You're crazy. And then the third time I said, you know what? We should buy some land. We should do it now. Plan on building a house. We should think about it. She mentioned it to her dad, and Dad said, that's brilliant. You should do it. So then we did it.
So Dad okayed it.
Dad okayed it, and then it was fine. And then we actually started designing the house, I want to say 2015, 2016, and we went back and forth, and I was doing the designing on a CAD program, and so there was a lot of arguments. We finally decided on a design that we both liked, and there was enough room for her family to come and visit. there was enough room for me to get away from her family when they came and visited. And so then
This is being recorded.
Yeah, but you can edit this out, right?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
could.
We'll just add in right there. We'll just add in Jesse's parents.
That's awesome. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
That really, I mean, that's remarkable. That's what a cool, what an amazing set of skills. What a you know, I often wonder what it would be like to be an actual man.
Hey, this is Steve with the Punch Up Podcast. With me on this episode are Kevin Regan,
Hey, Steve.
Jessie Preisendorfer,
Hey, Steve.
Ian O'Shea,
Stephen,
and our storyteller is Mario Fraboni. Mario, welcome.
hey,
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
welcome.
Take it away, buddy.
So kids, I know Kevin, Ian, Steve, you all have kids. Jessie, I know you act like a kid a lot of times, right? Yeah. Okay. So I have kids, 2, boy and a girl, and they're great kids. And every parent says their kids are great, and they are to their parents. But my kids are great, but there's also something wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
So as a child, I never took vacations. My dad
And
was
you,
always-
Mario, you grew up in Wisconsin?
Yes. And that had nothing to do with not taking vacations.
I mean, it's already, you're in such a gorgeous area. Where could you go to better
Why
yourself?
would you leave? Why would you leave?
But it does have
Right.
everything to do with his accent.
Yes. But every summer, my dad was going to take us to Disneyland, and we never did because he ran his own business. He was, always busy. So
What was the business?
he ran a design and display company. So he would two main lines of work that he did. One was he would design the stores inside of shopping malls
Oh, cool. Okay.
and then fit them out. So he would build the display racks and everything like that.
Wow.
And then the other thing he did was design and build trade show booths.
Yep. That makes sense. Okay.
So anyway, after he died, my mom, it was in the will, my mom took us to Disneyland.
It was in the will?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was
That's
in
awesome.
the will. If we
Oh,
haven't
wow.
gone, you have to take any of the insurance money and take the kids to Disneyland.
I mean, we know as parents, and I mean, it's so easy to obviously say you want to do all these things, and of course you mean it, and it just time goes on and time.
Gets away from you. Yeah.
Clearly, it gnawed at him his whole life. That
Yeah.
he couldn't
Yeah.
recognize that. That's really beautiful. Wow, that's awesome.
And how old were you, Mario, when this happened?
13.
Okay.
So anyway, as a parent, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make sure that I spent time with the kids. So we actually
And don't give them shit in the will. Make sure they don't get shit. Get
Right.
it all in life, you don't get a thing.
Promise.
Just list everything you did for them.
promise.
We did this. You owe me money.
Right.
You know what my dad used to say for when we were young, and we'd say, what's for dessert?
Mm-hmm.
Dad would say, dessert the table.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
I like it.
My kids ate
Yeah.
it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I never got it until I had kids. I just never even got the double, and but it's just like he didn't promise he didn't promise us Disneyland because there was just no way in hell that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was laying in bed one night and I told my wife, I'm like, you know what? In the year 2000, the kids will be whatever they were, 7 and 8. And I said, we're going to take them to Disney World. So we did that. That was great.
Was it Disney World or Disneyland?
Well, for me, it was Disneyland. For my kids, it was Disney World.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
Disney World didn't exist when my dad did.
Okay.
So anyway, I had
Wait, was Disney World in his will?
no, Disneyland.
I was going to say your dad is a powerful man.
Yeah. Mario inherited Disney World.
Yeah.
A visionary.
They had
Yeah.
to make it.
That's what he had been fabricating the entire time. He'd been building it behind the scenes, and when he finally passed, he allowed them the golden ticket. The
Yep.
only
Yes.
one group of kids has the ticket to every door in Disney World, and it's the Fraboni.
It's the ultimate design and display.
Mario, how many are you? How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 older sisters and 1 younger.
Okay, all right.
So I was putting in a lot of hours for the company I worked for, Recreation Depot, in Lumberton, New Jersey.
Shout
And
out.
we had
Sweet
just
plug.
opened- I get $5. So,
We get 20.
Yeah.
do you? Well, that's great. So every time I say recdepot.com or Recreation Depot, that's 3. So we had just opened a new store and I was working 55, 60 hours a week,
Right.
getting the new store and everything and making a lot of money because of all the overtime. And so after Christmas, I said to my wife, I said, why don't we take the kids down to Universal Studios, but not tell them? And she said, what? And I said, we send a note to the teachers, we pack their bags and we pick them up from school
I love this.
Gosh.
and we take them. So
Teachers,
So-
by the way, teachers love when parents pull their kids out for an entire week mid-year. That is the best.
Don't bring us down, Jesse.
we wouldn't do it, except the kids never had a problem with schoolwork. So if they struggled in school, we wouldn't do it. But they were good students. They always did their work and they were, on top of things.
And they're
So-
how old?
7 and 8.
7 and 8?
Well, now I want to say they're
12 and 13.
maybe 10 and 11, 2002, 2003.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is
10.
after Disney.
This was after Disney, yeah. So the day comes, we pack their bags, throw them in the back of the car. We drive to the school, and we had sent notes
Black
ahead of
hoods
time. We
over their
said, "Give
faces?
this-" What was that?
Black hoods over their faces. It sounds like you really hightail. Really.
Rented a van.
Sounds
Yeah.
like
No, we didn't want to do. They're claustrophobic, so we did the ether.
Oh,
Smart.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
how much are the therapy bills?
They B.A. Baracus their kids to get them
Yeah,
to Universal
right.
Studios.
So we pick them up from school. The teachers knew what was going on, and so
and they were just over the moon, as
Thrilled.
Jessie said. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're gonna spend an extra half an hour making a lot of copies and collating stuff and writing instructions, and then get the packet back at the end of the week, and have
They
to
didn't
grade
have-
that at night. So
For the 2 smart kids.
we
Yeah,
love that.
they had
And
no
that's why you
homework.
get paid the big bucks and get the summers off.
That's right. I forgot
Oh,
about summer.
man.
Woo, summer baby.
So we picked the kids up and they're like, what are we doing? And I said, well, I've been working a lot. I haven't seen you guys. We thought we'd go out for lunch, go down to the shore and go out for lunch. Is that okay? And they're like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. So we get in the car. We're heading down towards Atlantic City because we were flying out of Atlantic City Airport. And we see a plane flying overhead. And I'm like, oh, an airplane. We must be near the airport. And the kids are like, oh, cool. And I said, you know what? Why don't we go to the airport and have lunch? We can watch the planes land and take off. And the kids are like,
Sounds like crap. That's what they said. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, great. Awesome.
Yeah, this is
Airport food.
Dad,
What?
we're not 4.
but they were okay with it. They were like,
Dad,
oh,
why do you have a psychotic grin on your face when you're talking to us?
well, yeah, they that's pretty much there all the time. So.
They were just happy that when they got in the car, you didn't tell them that grandma died. Because in the middle
Well-
of the day, there's only one reason you're picking your kids up at school.
Apparently, there are now 2.
Yeah.
And do
Yeah.
teachers complain about that too, Jess?
Well, usually they call the room and they say, send so-and-so down to the office. And we're like, oh, you got to get down to the office.
Unbelievable. I have to grade papers because Mima couldn't hang on.
Right.
And,
So
and
the
if you're going to
weekend-
the office, can you make copies and collate this?
Yeah. Could you please just drop this off for these other 2 kids who are going on a vacation I can't afford, please?
I'm sorry about your grandma.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So we pull up to the airport, and we open up the trunk and pull the bags out. My daughter's very sharp, and she's like, "Why did you have bags in the back of the car?" And we said, "Well, just in case." And my son's just like, "Yeah, okay, there's bags in the car."
Boys.
Yeah. And so we go in, and my daughter, she's like, "We're going somewhere, aren't we?" And so we said, "Yes, we are." "Where are we going?" "We can't tell you."
Lunch.
Lunch, right? With suitcases.
Then
So
grandma's funeral.
And grandma's funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to grandma's funeral.
Grandma's in the bags, honey.
Your new orthodontist is in Orlando.
Well, that was the thing. We didn't want to tell him it was Orlando.
Sure.
But in the airport, there's a specific line to check in for flights for Orlando. So we get in the line, and you know, they're like, "Orlando." And so as we're getting our tickets, we're trying to keep them distracted so they don't really pay attention too much to the sign. The person taking the reservations and, you know, getting the tickets and everything, she goes, "Oh, are you kids going to visit Mickey?" And the kids are like,
Mantle. You're like, "Mickey Mantle. We're going to see Mickey Mantle."
Rooney.
Yeah. We said, no. I said, we're not going to Disney World. So I told him, I said, what we're going to do is we're going down to Orlando, and instead of the cheap hotels we normally stay in, we got a little bit nicer hotel, which we did. We got one that was on the property, and we said it has a nice pool, and we're just going to spend some time together. And we're like, "Is that okay with you guys?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's great. That's great."
Your kids thought you were dying. Like, they absolutely are like, "Shit, Dad's dying."
Yeah.
As opposed
So-
to the normal hotels we stay in, we're blowing our whole wad on a nice hotel. Daddy just wants to spend time with you guys.
Yeah.
College fund.
Really
is
nice
fun.
hotel, and not buy tickets to the park.
Yeah. You can see the park from the hotel, but we're not going there.
You can hear the park, you can smell the park.
So, and that's exactly where I'm going. So we go down. We had no idea that the park was right there.
Oh,
So as we're pulling into the parking lot, the Incredible Hulk roller coaster is like coming right over the parking lot. And the kids light up. They're like, "Oh, whoa, what's that?" And we said, "Oh, it must be an amusement park or something." And they're like, "Oh, wow, cool." And I said, "We're not going." I said, we're staying at the nice hotel." "Oh, that's okay. That's fine."
oh, your poor kids.
I know. Well, my wife and I look at each other like, "Oh my God, they're cool with this."
You could have saved so much money.
I know.
We raised really good kids. We're not
Yeah,
complaining.
well, yeah. And so we check into the hotel, and the kids want to go to the pool. So kids run out to the pool. My wife and I are sitting there. The roller coasters are going. People are screaming.
You go to the pool, just no going in the pool. We're not going in the pool.
Yeah.
You can watch everyone in the pool. We can watch them and enjoy that. We can just absorb that energy.
We didn't go that far. So we told them on the plane they could go in the pool.
Gotta
So,
give them time.
Yeah, you had to give them that.
FYI, did they get lunch?
Never.
Yes.
To this day, they have not had lunch.
They
Not-
ordered
yeah,
it.
No lunch in
Not at the
Fraboni house.
airport.
They ordered it, but they weren't allowed to eat it.
Just watch
No.
it. Just watch it melt and mold in the sun. Just a time elapsed.
Oh, so they're having a great time. We said, well, let's go get some dinner, and we went to, I forget what they call it, City Walk or whatever the big thing is there between Universal. Yeah.
Let's go watch other families eat dinner.
Yeah. That's almost what it seemed like. And we're going past the park entrances and everything, and the kids are kind of curious, but they never said, "Can we go?" They never said, "I want to go to the park."
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
So we went for dinner, and we're walking back, and
Leave it.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Don't. and they have the kiosks where you can print tickets and whatnot. And we had already ordered our tickets. We just had to enter the code,
Yeah.
and then we would get our tickets printed, right? So we're walking back, and my wife and I are still just amazed that these kids have not said one word about wanting to go to the park or can't we go to the park? I mean, it's right there. Nothing.
Restraint.
What a proud moment, for sure.
Yeah, it really was. So we stop at a kiosk, and I turned to the kids and I said, hey, you guys have been really, really good. And I said, it's really hard with all of this cool stuff here, and you guys haven't complained at all about not going. And they're like, that's okay, Dad. We like the hotel's really nice and the pool's really good. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, you guys have been so good. How about we go to the parks tomorrow? And they were like, oh, can we? And I'm like, sure. And so they were thrilled, and my wife and I still couldn't believe it. And one of the best things that came out of it, the kids eventually found out, that we had planned it all along. But one of the nicest moments for my wife and I as parents is the two kids, one, they still talk about it, and they talk about now doing the same thing with their kids in the future and meeting up with the families.
Oh, that's great.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's really nice? What's really nice about that is now you have multiple sets of teachers that are pissed off. That is just awesome.
And they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends.
Make sure you do it like the week of state testing, because that is the
for sure.
absolute best time.
That's when you guys work the hardest.
Yeah, well, some of
Yeah,
us do.
especially like the kids that bring the curve up. Take that
Right,
out.
right. We want them out.
Yeah. Well, this was kind of like right in the middle of January, end of January. So, they were just starting to get the ball rolling in school, Jess.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure it was fine. It was fine. Don't worry about it.
Have you guys, Mario, have you guys taken any kind of like big vacations since that, or was that like the last big family?
No, we've done a couple other ones. Again, like I said, I wanted to make sure that I had time with my kids.
It's awesome.
So we did another Disney World trip that was kind of a surprise. It was a Christmas present.
Okay.
And we did that like a couple years later. And then just a few years ago, when they were both in college, we
Snuck into their dorm rooms, packed their bags.
stuffed them, took them away.
Took them out
No,
the day of final exams. They're like, we're going somewhere. Get in the car. Go to City Walk.
Teacher will figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
FaceTime
worry about
grandma.
your grades.
FaceTime
It's
grandma.
fine.
Every time your kids get in the car, they must be thinking, is this real or are we going
Yeah.
somewhere fantastic?
Yeah, but see, now we can take them to the doctor's appointments, and they don't care, they're in the
Yeah.
car. So that's the upside.
You
But
know, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we did another kind of a surprise trip for them. We wanted to take them down to an all-inclusive. My wife and I love to snorkel, and we wanted to share that with the kids. So for Christmas, one year we got them chips, salsa, snorkel gear, snorkel vest, and my son, who's like, everyone goes, oh, he's a genius, and he is. He's a bright kid. He's an attorney. He's does very well. He was like, what am I going to do with this? And my daughter, on the other hand, is, we're going somewhere, aren't we? So it was just like she did, on that other trip.
And he was like,
we said, yes, but can you guess where we're going? And so they love games, and then they were trying to figure it out, and eventually with the chips and the salsa, and I think there was something else, they figured out that we were going to go down to Mexico.
Aruba.
So,
Oh.
yeah.
No, the other thing was Montezuma Revenge, and they were like, Mexico, we're going to Mexico. And why did you put this in a jar?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And why did they open it?